Hey guys, my name is Sophia the Shadow Hunter, and today I'm doing my book review on Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I really enjoyed this book. I have really enjoyed his books. I wouldn't say that like any of his books would be in my top 10 favorite books or even top 5 books, but I really enjoyed this book and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. If you guys have read this book, you know this is about a 16-year-old girl named Asa who suffers from OCD and how that kind of controls her life, and it changes how she lives, how she sees things, and how it just continually changes her life. It makes it hard for her to go on with her life, living her life, making decisions, making friends, and forming relationships. And it's really interesting to see it to read a book about someone who with OCD. I don't think I've read a book about someone with OCD before. And I really did enjoy it, and I liked the characters, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's probably one of my favorite John Green books out of the ones I've read of his. It was just so interesting and intriguing, and I wanted to keep reading it, and I read it pretty fast. I probably could have finished it like one day earlier, but I finished it pretty fast, which I was needing at the time. It was a quick read, easy to get through. It wasn't like one of those books that I just had to force myself to read it. Maybe at a few times I wasn't really feeling like reading at the moment, but I still enjoyed reading it. And this book, I think, did a really great job of showing how living with a loved one and the person with an OCD or an illness or any mental illness, how hard it is and how it can be life-shattering and how it can be so difficult to make plans, to make choices, and to make friends. I really felt that this story was really relatable. I think the main character was really relatable, and I think the characters and her friends and her family were also very relatable, and I really enjoyed that. I don't really read a lot of books that I would say have relatable characters in them because I read mainly nonfiction and historical books, so it's really nice, and I appreciated how normal these people were. I feel like when people write fiction, when they read fiction, there needs to be real life in there as well. It needs to be mixed. It needs to be a good combination. I feel like this book had just the right amount of real life and realism in it. And even though the characters they aren't real characters, there are people who deal with this illness every day of their life. And there are family members who have to live with their family members who have this disease and how hard it is, and their friends. And I really felt like it was a very relatable story, and I think that it was a really well written, well rounded story. And I really felt like I could relate a lot to the main character, and I enjoyed that. I think that since John himself struggles with OCD and mental illness like lots of people do, that he was really able to really show what it's like for someone living a life with OCD or any type of mental illness, and how difficult and how hard it is. But I really did enjoy this book. I might want to reread it in a year, so we'll see. I want to try to read more books like this because I don't read a lot of books like this, and I would like to read more books that deal with mental illness in real life and things like this, because people need to know how difficult it is, how hard it is to live with these illnesses, and how it's not the people's fault. People have illnesses because some people were born with it, and some people got it from how their lives were, how they were raised, and where they grew up. And it's not just a one size fits all type of problem. Everyone's different, and everyone needs things that are different, and it takes time for people with these illnesses and diseases to be able to find something that will work for them and find a way to work through these issues. And it's not easy, but nothing in life that is, worth going through is easy. In the long run, you see once you get through it that it was worth it. So I really enjoy this book. I love to know your comments down below. I'll see you guys next time with another video. Goodbye.